specifically the ability to get results through your clients when working with them or for them if you're doing a done for you service, that is unique. It's really unique and special. That's what not everyone is doing. And you can't buy that. You can't go and study and get a degree and say, I have a degree in results. We get results by practice. Hey, it's Samantha Hartley of the Profitable Joyful Consulting Podcast. This season, we've been talking about gifts and skills, talents, and expertise. And today I wanted to address a question in this area that I hear a lot from consultants, which is, do I need to be certified as a consultant? Should I get more training or pursue more learning? Do I need an MBA? I want to talk about my views on this subject and what I have seen over my long, long years in this field. So, the first thing I wanted to share was years ago, I was on a plane in business class and sitting next to this guy, and he asked me where I worked. And when he found out it was the Coca Cola company, he said, "Well, where's your MBA from?" And I said, "I don't have an MBA." And he said, "Oh, okay. What about undergrad? What was your undergrad in?" And I said, "I have a liberal arts degree." And I saw him kind of his like expression of like, that doesn't make any sense. And his little, kind of world needed to recalculate to imagine how I could be in that seat for that company with that kind of an education, or in his case, lack thereof education. So, what I have always considered is that for a lot of people, they are using certifications as credibility. And the lack the things that they lack as excuses to be able to be all they can be and really to put themselves out there. And I think it's really important to think about that you really carry your credibility and expertise within yourself, your confidence within yourself. It's not just me who doesn't have an MBA or any kind of certification. And by the way, I've been asked about the two of those, with that exception of that guy, have never, ever been asked about any certifications, whether I have an MBA or anything, like in my whole entire career. So just in case you're worried about being asked. Um, there are numerous famous consultants and coaches who don't have any higher certifications and sometimes don't have college degrees. And I think that's because success in this field and in business in general is more about marketing and results and less about actual educational level, right? It's marketing and not meritocracy. And that has been frustrating for many people I know who are like, but I have so many more, I'm so much better at this than that other person. But they're the one who's famous and making all the money because they're the better marketer. They are not reluctant to put themselves out there. They're more visible. So if you're using the I need to know more before I can get started excuse, then that is putting this kind of education in the way of your success path. We don't need to know anymore. You don't need to know anymore. You are enough exactly as you are. And I want you to lean into your own confidence about how, like, you are the ideal person to help your clients with exactly what you know today. A really wonderful affirmation is I already know everything I need to be massively successful. And if you want to add wealthy to it. You already know everything you need to know because believe me, you know more than your clients know about the stuff that you know. You know more than a lot of other people out there who are doing a really great job in the profession already. So, I don't ever want the lack of letters or certifications to prevent you from doing what you can be doing, from making your contribution in the field. Okay, having said that, I need to say education is important. I'm not anti education and anti learning. I love learning myself, it's a passion of mine. Ongoing professional development is something that you should definitely do. Um, Not from a sense of lack, but from a sense of like, it's important for us all to stay current in our field. If you're an expert in your field is probably alive, meaning it's evolving and changing, and it's up to us to stay up with the innovations in our field. Hey, Chat GPT just came out. What do we need to know about that? Do your clients need to know more about it? Or can you say to them, it's not going to be relevant for you. Don't worry about it. It's going to be relevant. But do you need to be a deep expert in that? Do you need to rush and get certified? Probably not, but you need to stay on top of the information about what's new in your field. So ongoing education is important. Specific degrees and letters are not necessarily important. What's your version of ChatGPT? So in your field, what are the innovations that are happening? Like who's just published something that everybody's talking about? In every field that's where humans are still alive, there are new ideas emerging, and I would love it if some of those new ideas were your ideas. When people have writer's block, a lot of times it's because they're not studying enough of what is new in their field. Because if you do study that, you're going to have a point of view about it. So stay on top of the things that are out there, the information that's out there. Like read those publications and learn that stuff, but not to excess, because learning is only one part of being amazing as a consultant. Now, uh, it's great to be educated. It is not great to use education as a barrier between yourself and marketing, getting started. This, I have to know more before I can, is a super dangerous excuse. And I've seen that as a limiting belief in people who have letters after their name for many years. Since I got started, I would notice, my PhD clients, love them, have several. They often will be the ones who will be prefer to learn more than to do any marketing. And I'm like, you have a PhD, for goodness sake. Like, you already know absolutely everything that you need to know relative to what your clients know. Okay. So watch yourself. You're looking at what the driver, the motivator of that action is. So, what's the reason behind doing it? If my intention is I want to close some skills gaps, awesome. If my intention is to avoid putting myself out there, not good, right? So pay attention to that as a dynamic, especially I say to my fellow perpetual students and lovers of accumulating more and more knowledge. It needs to be applicable to our clients, and it needs to be relevant. So, um, you know, create some boundaries for yourself around that. To me, expectations here are really important. What do you expect your clients to expect you to know? So I expect my clients to expect me to know the latest information in marketing. I expect them to expect me to know how to grow a business, especially specifically consulting businesses. I expect them to expect me to be a deep expert in the field. Your clients expect you to have a track record, to be able to get results. Those things are so disproportionately more important than degrees and certifications. Like, just think, an expert who can get results, that's what we want. What's amazing to me is that I have a lot of acquaintances now. I'm hearing more and more people who are talking about hiring Gen Z to coach them in their business. Why? Because they're on the front edge. They're on the cutting edge in a lot of areas. And so older consultants I know are bringing in those Gen Z coaches to illuminate them and to help them close some gaps. And if you think about it, you're like, well, what about the certifications? And what about the track record? And what about the whatever? We just need them to know more than we know and to be able to get results. Uh, it's not a comparison. This isn't a contest, but I say that because I want you to think about what is a priority rather than a piece of paper. So if you're going to say, okay, I won't go get that extra certification, or I won't go take that new class that I was thinking of taking, what should I be doing instead? It's really important to build your brand, to have a business identity that says, I want to be known as the expert in. I do want to be your go-to person in this area. Creating thought leadership. So for yourself, as I was saying, like, learn this stuff and then develop a point of view about it that you share. That's what thought leadership is. And then you think, well, what isn't being said in this area yet? What aren't people talking about? Like, I would much rather learn that from someone than see that they have any kind of degrees, right? So show us who you are through what you're communicating and through your ideas rather than through the paper and getting results. There's really just nothing like that. The ability to get results, as we've talked about on my show, for many episodes, it's hard because you're acting through others. And so when you're able, we can all get results for ourselves a lot of the time. Sometimes not everybody can, but specifically the ability to get results through your clients when working with them or for them, if you're doing a done for you service, that is unique. It's really unique and special. That's what not everyone is doing. And you can't buy that. You can't go and study and get a degree and say, I have a degree in results. We get results by practice. Years ago, I was in Malaysia working on a project with a consulting company they had brought in to work with us at the Coca-Cola company on a project. And there were a bunch of MBAs that they deployed there, a lot of baby MBAs, which meant that they knew everything in theory and nothing in practice. And I mean, nothing in practice. So they had all kinds of ideas that sounded like a textbook. And we were like, that does not work here. That doesn't apply here. That's not relevant to here. So there are limitations to knowledge without practical expertise, and the results that you get prove that you have the practical expertise. Be good at the work. So my last, I want to leave you some action steps on this. We've talked about a lot of specifics, but I just want to kind of boil this down to 3 areas. The first one is I want you to list your gifts, talents, skills, and expertise. And I mean list, not like, hey, I'm good at these 3 things. I want you to list voluminously on a sheet of paper, just like the 325 things that you're good at. Especially if you're a person who, when you get, this happens, I'll tell you when you're marketing and you have a gap and you're not closing clients and you start to have that feeling of like concern because you don't have enough clients and you're really wanting to get another client. Very often I'll notice that's when they say, I think I should get a certification. I think I should pursue a new training. When your marketing isn't working, it doesn't mean that you don't know enough stuff. It means you need to work on your marketing. You need to work on your ability to get new clients. And it's very likely that lack of knowledge of something or lack of certification, you don't need to know more. You need to be better at marketing. Okay, so that's going to segue me into this second thing. You're going to make a list of all the things that you're amazing at because I want you to see that. And I want you to notice that those are unique differentiators in many cases. Package your personal brand, including those gifts and skills, talents and expertise. Okay, that's why we list this stuff out. Like, what are you the best at in all the land? Remind yourself of that when you are thinking that you need to go learn some more stuff. The second thing is identify the gaps. Hey, we all do have gaps. As I said, our fields are evolving and growing. Our clients are getting more and more sophisticated in some cases. And so you might actually have some skills gaps. For example, let's say that you discover that you really like working in the manufacturing niche. And then as you go in and work in it, you realize, wow, they speak a whole different vocabulary. And there's some certain things here that I feel like I need to know. Cool. Close some gaps in that area. Don't go necessarily get certified in like lean manufacturing. Okay. Just close the skills gaps, the knowledge gap in a certain area there. Another one might be project management. As you're doing your work, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not that great at. I got a lot of ball spinning and I want to get great results for my clients, but I feel like I should be better at project management. Cool. Go learn a little bit about that, or better yet, hire that skill. But hey, learn a little bit about it if you need to, but it's relevant and it has an immediacy to your work. And then in season 11, I had a whole season where I talked about consulting skills. So look back at those. Those are skills that we need, I believe, to have to be better as consultants. So it is okay to have gaps and to close them. That is pursuing education and improvement, not from a feeling of internal lack, but from a sense of like mission and clear intention. And then last of all, share your case studies and testimonials. Like when you're good at the work, people need to know about that. And if I see one thing more than I see any others, it's that the people who are good at the work, they don't collect enough testimonials. They don't have those case studies, or it's sitting on their hard drive somewhere and they haven't yet published it yet. So please do yourself a favor and prioritize collecting those case studies and testimonials. A person with 10,000 certifications with no case studies and testimonials or good client results will never win over the one who does have all of the above. Okay. Prioritize getting that off of your hard drive, out of your client's mouth, out of your head, and into the public domain where people can see it. Get it on your social media, on your website, speak it in your speeches. You want to have that everywhere. Cool. So, again, I am so pro education. I think college is important no matter what, how expensive it is, and everyone's turning against it nowadays. I think it's really important for us to have college educations because they teach us how to think. And I think pursuing knowledge is really important. I just do not believe that a consulting certification or a certification in most things is going to help you to turn into something that you aren't already in your business. So you do not lack it. You do not need it. If you choose to do it for the right reasons, I think it can be an amazing addition to your business. If you'd like to close some of the skills gaps in your consulting business, I invite you to talk to me about how I might help you to grow as a consultant by coaching or through one of my programs. You can learn more about that by booking a clarity call with me. That is found on the samanthahartley.com/super page. There's a place to book a clarity call. And we might find out how we might close some of your skills gaps and help you to get more clients that you can help and excel in your deep expertise. With that, I am wishing you a profitable and joyful consulting business. Thanks. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate if you'd like this episode, and if you enjoyed the show, why not subscribe? Be sure to click the bell to get notified when new episodes drop.